Hey, Billy Nation, everybody. Oh, man. Me and Gizzard, we were texting back and forth, and I was like, dude, I'm so excited to tease one. I want to do a quick little live here, and you want to jump on? He's like, heck yeah. So, thanks for jumping on with me tonight, Gary.
You betcha. How about them Chiefs?
I love it. Boomstick, I do not have the game ball, buddy. But if I had it, I don't know. I don't think I can give it away though. That'd be
Nah,
rough.
it'd be tough.
Say howdy to Boomstick and Vanessa out there.
Heck yeah.
Oh man. So me and Gary was like talking there for a few minutes. I'm like, we might as well talk about this on the show here instead of in the back chat. So anyway, I'm going to actually put. See, let me try this here. I'm going to put the StreamYard link out there and then post it up at the top of the chat. And so if anybody wants to jump on, it don't matter if you're Chiefs fan, 49ers fan, it don't matter. Anyway, or if you're not even a football fan, you're welcome to grab that link and jump on. We're not going to make a long deal out of this. It's just me and Gizzard's excited, and we just want to share our excitement with everybody else. And so I don't know how it goes in your household, Gary, but me and my wife, we have like different shirts like throughout the years, and I have hats, and like some of them are good luck, and so we never start out with our best luck shirt on, or I don't start out with my best luck hat. So as the game's going, it's like, okay, we need to like step things up here. So I might go change my shirt, I might go change my hat, I might change my coolie, my beer koozie, you know what I mean? And there, Ozzy says, "How about them Chiefs?" Mr. Bob says, "Congratulations, guys." Thank you, buddy. Thank you. But super, super excited.
Now, I'd love to tell you it was never in question, but that might be a little bit of a lie. That was one good game.
Oh
Definitely
man.
hard fought. I never thought we had it in the bag. As a matter of fact, I was pretty sure we'd lost it more than once.
Me
Uh,
too.
but I refused to give up hope.
Yep.
So I didn't get mad and leave or any of that stuff or turn it off. I stayed there, but I was nervous. Won't lie to you. I was nervous.
Yep. Gotta have that heart, baby.
Yeah.
And Mr. Bob says the Blues smoked Montreal today too.
Heck
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm not really into hockey, but like when on as far as hockey, I'm kind of like only on the bandwagon if the Blues are playing, or like a local team, then I'm like, I jump on and cheer for them. And I guess the only reason is like we didn't have any hockey or any places to go and watch minor league hockey around here, even. So, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Ozzy's going to have to get another ring.
Yep.
And I'm about 2 T-shirts behind, as you can see. This is an older shirt. The only red one I had, though. So
yeah, this was this was the one I was wearing when they won their first Super Bowl 4 years ago now, and it was against the San Francisco 49ers. And I did not pull this shirt out and put it on until the very end of regulation game. And I was like, okay, you know, that got us into overtime, you know. And it's so funny about sports people and superstition, man. That's just, it's so weird. If you ever grew up playing sports, you know, maybe there wasn't any, I say superstition. I mean, you know, maybe I'm wording that wrong, but like good luck stuff, I guess, is what, you know, we, as a baseball team, I remember one year we were going all the way to state, and we'd won our regional deal. And so one of the guys is like, "Hey, let's not wash our uniforms, you know, because we'll wash all the luck out of them." And so, like, we didn't wash our uniforms, and we won, kept stepping up. And finally, on our deal last game, like we were playing, we went because we're a little school. We went to like a bigger city and was playing like some bigger teams. And our coach made us wash our uniforms. He's like, "You guys look terrible. You know, there's blood and grass stains and dirt stains all over us. I mean, we look terrible, you know." And he's like, "You guys got to wash your uniforms. You can't start out the game like this." And we lost, man. We're like, "Coach, you lost this game for us, making us wash your uniforms." So, do you have any like good luck deals like that or superstition? Anybody out in the side chat or Gary, do you have any of those?
Oh, I'm that way about a lot of things. Always got to sit on the same side of the couch. I gotta have my drink in the same place. Don't don't change hands. Unless they did something really bad, then maybe you need to change stuff up a little bit and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's so funny.
I'm weird like that too. I always have been.
Oh yeah, and we have this male Australian Shepherd dog, and he loves to play like catch a tennis ball, right? And so for many years, when he's watching Chiefs game or whatever, we're sitting in the TV room, and me and my wife we're tossing tennis ball to him. He's catching it, and he's like all like, "Hey, you know," uh, all excited and stuff. So we like cheer him on, and hey, Mr. Bob says, "Good luck thing. I always whip my sights before I do a little shooting." There you go. And so when the Chiefs, like, say, make a touchdown, we get excited. He thinks that we're cheering him on, and he just goes crazy. He'll have a tennis ball in his mouth, he'll run around the room going, "Oh, oh, oh, oh," you know, and, you know, it's so funny to watch. And so as we get excited, you know, he gets super excited because he thinks we're cheering him on, even though we're watching the Chiefs game.
I think I must have scared George because he went in the bedroom and hid. Probably too much yelling going on in the living room.
Yeah, I don't think cats are sports fans. At least my cat ain't. Yeah, the cat, they're like, "Hey, this is shit. It's getting weird. I'm leaving."
Well, now the year I got George, which was 2014, is the year that the Royals beat the A's and went into the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, first couple of years of his life, he got to sit through me watching Royals playoff games and World Series games and stuff. I remember back then he'd sit and look at the TV while I was doing it and stuff like that. But football doesn't seem to interest him all that much.
Yeah. Well, maybe he just likes baseball, hot dogs, and apple
Or
pie.
he likes blue better than he does red. I don't know.
Maybe. But yeah, we're just I know like I still had one koozie cup that was my oldest Kansas City Chief koozie cup that I could have switched to. for like if we went in overtime, they wouldn't get that touchdown, there at the end, then I would have switched that koozie cup, for for the second overtime because that was my last good luck charm. And probably like you, well, for me, when they won the Super Bowl in 69 and 70, I believe. See, I was born in January of 69. So my entire life, I've never, watching Chiefs games, I never got to see them like even go to the Super Bowl. And so, that first Super Bowl that we got to go to, and then we actually won, and that was against, the 49ers. And so I had all these shirts, all these koozie caps, because like for my birthday or Christmas, people would always get me Kansas City Chiefs stuff or Dale Earnhardt stuff, because I like racing too. So, I have just closets full of these Chief shirts. And then what's really cool about that is, we bought them for our kids when they were young. And now our grandkids are wearing those same Kansas City Chiefs shirts that their parents wore, their mama wore, and so yeah. Yeah, Boomstick, I actually quit watching that year. I did not watch the Chiefs for 1 year or 2 years. But I will say this about the Chiefs is they only had one person that was actually doing the kneeling on the sideline. And they got rid of him. Like, they traded him off or whatever. I mean, it wasn't because of that. It just, you know, he was a defensive end. And anyway, they traded him off or whatever. But then after that, so I missed being a diehard Chiefs fan. I did not watch a game for one solid year, and maybe it was 2 years, as long as Chris Peters, I believe I know his last name is Peters. I think it was Chris Peters, defensive end, because he was the only one that was doing that. And so, yeah, I'm with you on that, man. I did not watch him, and it really kind of hurt, man. It kind of hurt my heart a little bit, not supporting him because of that. But I love my country more than I do, football team. So,
Well, the thing
Ozzy, yeah.
is, prior to that, I was pretty much what you'd call a diehard NFL fan. I watched just about any game that was on for years and
Mm-hmm.
years and years. And after that and COVID and everything else, I just got to where if it wasn't a Chiefs game and it wasn't a playoff game, I didn't watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been pretty much that way ever since. I'll admit the only Chiefs games I've watched all year were playoff games. I did not watch any of the regular season games. Well, I don't have cable for one, so I have
Yeah.
to pretty much pay to watch them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing. But even before that, that's only been a recent thing. But I just kind of lost my want to sit in front of the TV and watch football all day type
Yeah.
stuff. Now, I've been a Chiefs fan, kind of like Ozzy, ever since I can remember, and I'm 64 years old. I was 10 when they won the Super Bowl the first time. I was watching it with my dad. I can remember that day. So we always rooted for the Chiefs and stuff like that. So that's second nature to me, and I rooted for them for a lot of years when they weren't very good.
Oh yeah.
They were a horrible team for a lot of years, and we still like the Royals. I mean, yeah, 10 years ago, the Royals were, playoff team, World Series, and the last couple of years, they've been the worst team in baseball. But if somebody asked me who my team was, well, that's my team. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
that's where I'm from. I still own a Royals cap and shirt and stuff like that. And That's who I root for, but they just haven't been in contention. But I'm not one of those bandwagon guys that goes after whatever team's popular. If my team's not in it, I just don't care. I could barely tell you who won the World Series last year. I didn't care. It wasn't my team, so I didn't care. I'd be hard pressed to tell you who won a Super Bowl when the Chiefs didn't, because Chiefs didn't win. So all I know is, did the Chiefs win or did they not win? That's really all I care about.
Boomstick talks about Broncos, man. Broncos, Chiefs, and then also Raiders, Chiefs. I mean, those are just diehard rivals, and I mean, such good games, throughout the years. I mean, yeah. Mr. Bob says, gave up on the NFL when they let the Cardinals go to Arizona with no compensation. Promised St. Louis an expansion team, and then added the Buccaneers and Panthers and let the Rams move it back to LA. Yeah. See, my wife, she's from outside of St. Louis, but, she grew up, west of St. Louis out in the country. Diehard, Rams fan. Well, I mean,
now the Buccaneers were Cardinals in the league before the Rams even moved to St. Louis. So
yeah, and I think this last time when they got moved back to LA, I really, disagreed with that, because the owner told St. Louis, if you can build a park that's going to, be updated and bring in, money and nice enough, then I'll consider staying here. St. Louis spent over $1 million drafting up, property and blueprints and all that. And it was actually a beautiful stadium. If you ever get a chance to look at those blueprints, you had the arch, the horizon of the arch back on one side. And after St. Louis spent $1 million, he already knew he was moving them, and he let them go ahead and spend that money anyhow. And so, like, nah, I'm gonna move them anyhow. I thought that was kind of a bullshit, play on his part to let him go ahead and spend that money when he knew he had his mind made up anyhow. And and honestly, when they had Kurt Warner, Kansas City didn't make it, the Rams are going, I rooted for the Rams, I mean, that's just, and matter of fact, I was like working in Illinois, and we went to St. Louis to like stay at one of the casinos so we could watch Ram games, and stuff. But yeah, exactly. But all right, buddy.
But now I dated a gal from St. Louis, and ended up we were married for a few years. And so I got to spend quite a bit of time around St. Louis. Well, St. Louis was always, they were a big baseball town. I mean, Cardinals were huge, Blues were huge, but you had a few Rams fans, but it never was quite that strong for the Rams like they were for the Cardinals and stuff like that, and even for the Blues. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a combination of a lot of things, but it's too bad. I can remember growing up, I've always had the St. Louis Cardinals. Dad always told me, well, before Kansas City got a team, he was always a St. Louis Cardinals fan, football and baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what was on TV, because that's the closest thing we got. So, there's Ron Wayne out there.
Hey, buddy.
His live stream must be over.
See, yeah, it probably is. Yeah. Hey, buddy. Congratulations. Man, I caught you timed I know you didn't do this on purpose, but you timed your range day video as perfect during the halftime show. So I was able to watch your range day during that. And anyway, I was still celebrating when your live was going on for your membership members. But anyway, glad to see you on here, buddy. And so yeah, as soon as that game was over, my phone kept ringing, kept buzzing, kept ringing. Hey, I know the Chiefs won. Quit yelling at me. I'm excited too.
Oh, I was
My dog.
texting with the hens. I was
Oh,
texting with 2 Live Moo. I was texting with Jason Stewart. And I was texting with my daughter. So I had at least 4 different texts going on, trying to fill everybody in and stuff like that. So, yeah, I had a lot of texts going on. After a while, I just put the phone down. It's like, I'll catch up with it later. I got to watch this game because they can't win without me. You know.
yeah, no
Somehow
kidding.
everybody thinks somehow that they have an influence over what's going on that field. Like where you put your cup or what shirt on. You could totally yourself decide who wins and loses this game based on what you do, or at least you think you have that power. So
Exactly. Yeah, it all makes sense, you know. I
my
mean,
dad always was under the impression that if the Chiefs were losing, he said, I just turned the game off. He says, I think they play better if I'm not watching sometimes. So
yeah, exactly. And like the shirt I have on was see, this is their support our troops or whatever that year. And anyway, my nephew is in the service in the army, and he sent me, this hat. And so I had, like I said, I had one more shirt and one more hat that I could go down to, for even, more luck. I know it sounds stupid, but it seems totally sane while the game's going on.
oh yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, my wife, she had put on her Travis Kelsey shirt, and like that for, well, I guess ever since Kelsey's been playing for Kansas City, and like it's starting to like fall apart. It's got like a rip here and there and stuff, so she has to put it on over another shirt. And anyway, right there towards the end of the first game, she's like, "I'm getting my shirt on," and I mean, she already had a Kansas City shirt on, but she, man, I'm getting my Kelsey shirt on. So,
Yeah.
but also at the end of the game, she told me, she said, for Valentine's, I want a Bucker shirt, kicker. And I'm like, okay, it sounds easy. I can order you one of those for Valentine's. So,
Yeah, you don't see a lot of those in the stores. You may have to special order that one.
yeah. Yeah.
I
May
tried
have
to
to.
pick one up on, yesterday when I was at my daughter's, but they didn't have any of my size.
Well,
So I ended up just buying a hat instead. It's like, well, I know the hat's going to fit. So
I might order her an extra large. It'd be too big for her, but I could wear it if I want to that way.
but I was thinking of going to the NFL shop and buying one of those new T-shirts, the world champion. Although you could drive up to Academy Sports right now and buy one tonight, because usually whenever anybody in Kansas City wins a championship or whatever, they open the store up late at night because they've got the T-shirts all ready
Mm-hmm.
to go. You can go up
Yep.
there and get them if you want to.
Yep.
But I probably shouldn't be driving anywhere tonight. I'll be honest with you. I have no business driving anywhere tonight.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'm
you don't
okay.
live in Philadelphia. Philadelphia, they would never notice you,
I don't
after a Super Bowl win, but
I don't do that.
there you might. Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
if I had somebody to ride with, it'd be a different deal. But I don't. It's not like I can't wait a few days.
Justin says, you guys are acting like Grandpa them bingo rituals. Exactly, buddy. I mean, that's the only way Kansas City Chiefs can, win Super Bowl. If we
I
don't
used
like,
to think it wouldn't be any fun when I got older, because, when you're young, you're always a football fan and stuff like that. But
we'll see,
I
Ron.
think you enjoy it just as much when you get older as you do when you was younger. And you don't have, well, I at least now, I can't speak for Hillbilly. I don't have to get up and go to work in the morning. So.
Well, I trade stocks for a living, so I can wake up if I have some stocks that like I have a few from Friday that I carried over the weekend. So basically, I wake up at 8:30 our time when the market opens, and I can just use my phone and like, okay, sell, and then go back to bed if I want. So,
So, without naming names and without implicating myself in anything serious, let's just say I may have made a wager with somebody on the AFC Championship game and won.
Awesome.
And then once the 49ers scored tonight, that same person texted me tonight and wanted to know they wanted their money back. And I said, "Oh, so you want to do another bet?" They said, "Yeah." And so I may or may not have agreed to that also. And was convinced most of the night that I may just be given back the money, but it didn't end up that way. And I don't care. I don't care. It was all in fun anyway. But it's just one of the things that people do and stuff like that. But
Oh yeah.
I could care less whether I won or lost as far as that goes. But well, hey, the game was in Vegas. If you can't wager on a game that's in Las Vegas, something's wrong with that.
Well, did you know? I don't know if you noticed, but I was scrolling through the internet earlier today. You could have literally bet on what color Gatorade was going to be dumped on the
Oh,
winning
I'm
coach.
sure.
And I'm like, oh, there's what, 5 colors of Gatorade? So I'm like, I'm thinking, man, 1-to-1 odds, this is pretty good odds, and but it was purple I seen, and I probably wouldn't have guessed purple. I would have guessed red, so I would have lost that if I would have took that
Now,
bet.
my daughter texted me. She didn't care about the game, but she wanted me to pay close attention. She said, if the Chiefs win tonight, make sure you pay attention after the game because I heard a rumor that Travis Kelce was going to propose to Taylor Swift if he won. So if you see anything about that, let me know. Of course, it didn't happen. But, well, as far as I know, if it did, it didn't happen on camera. Let's put it that way.
I heard he's going to break up with her if they won.
Well, didn't look like any of that was going on either. It just looked like they were out there on the field, arms around each other, kissing, just like the other game. So, as far as I'm concerned, that's a couple that appears to be in love. God love them. I don't care how popular she is. If he's happy and she's happy, that's all that matters to me.
Exactly.
And as long as it don't affect the game, hey, the Chiefs still won. So, if Travis wants to get married afterwards, hope it works out for him. Is all I gotta say.
Well, I have a opinion on that.
Okay.
I've never been a fan of her or her music. Just never have. But
no, but that doesn't make her a bad person.
No, and I honestly thought, that this is because the way NFL, like they were showing her every game and all this and that. And I'm like, okay, this is like a promotional type deal,
I don't know about that, but I think they're definitely taking advantage of the situation. Let's put it that way. And why wouldn't they? I
Yeah,
mean,
and then my youngest daughter, she had flew in this weekend and surprised us from Colorado. And I was talking to her about it. I'm like, why? I told her, I was like, you know, I love Travis Kelsey. Like, why, out of all the women out there, why would he have to pick her as a girlfriend? And stuff. And she told me, she said, well, Dad, think about it. Said, when she goes, like, she stays in her press box. She don't like, you know, uh, she, and my daughter's not a big fan of hers, but she's way younger, so she kind of follows those crowds a little bit more. She goes, I honestly don't know if she wanted all that attention. She didn't. She goes, I wonder if she didn't even have a choice. They seen they were there, that she was there. They started pointing the cameras at her. She goes, so think about that. And I'm like, well, that's fair. I mean,
yeah.
she may not wanted it, but
As far as Travis Kelsey goes, he's a young man. He's the
yeah,
proper. I mean, my daughter's a huge Taylor Swift fan, and she's about 35, which has got to be about Travis Kelsey's age, probably, right about 35, 36, I believe is his age. So that's the age demographic. Obviously, we don't like Taylor Swift's music because, well, we're not the age demographic that she's aiming for.
mm-hmm.
And, you
We're
know,
not 13.
most most popular music artists, especially in the pop side of things, aren't going to be aiming their music towards geezers like us. We're not the people
Exactly.
who make their money. Their bread and butter is, the teen audience and the young people and
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
That's the way it always is and always will be. So, yeah, we might be a little bit out of touch. Hate to admit it, but we might be. So,
Well,
although I don't understand the appeal of Taylor Swift's music. I mean, some of it's maybe catchy, but it's bubblegum type stuff. And to me, I don't see the appeal. But I'm sure my parents probably said the same thing
exactly.
back when I used to listen to what I listened to in high
Yeah.
school,
They're
which
like,
is now
what?
classic rock.
Yeah. What's this stuff you're listening to?
All I
Gary,
know
this
is my
is
parents
terrible.
said, "Do you have to have it that loud in there?" It's like, of course
Boomstick
I
said,
do.
watch me sing Elvis Presley songs here, Billy. And I'm like, that would help out a bunch, buddy. If she sang Elvis, that would help out a
Now,
bunch.
if you'd have been watching
But
at the tail end after they did the trophy presentation and all that, they were playing Viva Las Vegas over the loudspeakers and she was singing along to it.
yeah.
So,
Well, Travis, when he was up there at the mic, um, he kept saying, he's doing Viva, Viva Las Vegas or whatever. And then the Jim Nance goes, how about you right the party? I think Travis done forgot about that for a second. He goes, you gotta fight for your right, the party. But yeah, it was funny. So Ozzy says Travis is 34 and he's around 31. Yeah. They're in the same age area, so yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
my
And
daughter is
I mean,
34. Let's see. No, my daughter's 35. That's right.
yeah, just think what certain parents thought, when the Beatles, we had the Beatles invasion or even Elvis or, whoever it might be. And yeah.
No,
Broomstick says, just guys I haven't bought an album in 40 years doesn't make me a geezer.
it's not my music, but I'm not going to be like my parents or, and just
Exactly.
say it's totally junk because I don't understand it well. Evidently, enough people do like it that it sells a lot of albums.
Yep.
So, hey, that's what everybody likes. That's fine. I
You
don't
bet.
suppose they're going to care if this old boy comes to their concerts or not anyway, because they'd probably think I'm just a chaperone or something like that. Anyway.
Like,
So,
doggone, we got to give him the senior discount anyhow.
probably. Concerts are so expensive anymore anyway. When we were kids, you could go to a concert for $20 or 30. Shoot, you can't even get into one now for that. So
Yeah.
downloads. We didn't have downloads when we was kids. You had to go buy music at the store. Physical music.
Oh yeah. Exactly. And I'm pretty sure the first concert I went, I was 13 years old, and like me and like five of my friends, we had like one of those like Chevy passenger vans, and so my mom took us, and our first concert was Sammy Hagar, and I want to say the tickets, I'm pretty sure were $15 a piece, and so. And that's the deal. They just drop you off out there in front of the stadium, and then come back and pick you up.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really do that anymore. Dang, Eagles and Steely Dan was $100 a seat.
That'd been a hell of a
Man.
concert there.
Oh, it would have been, but man, $100. Well, I tell you what, Mister Bob. The reason that is because they know the people's going to go see those, like, have the money to spend that for it. And I guess so. Yeah, Guns N' Roses is auto tune wreck music. Yeah, but you can tell when that auto tune's kicking in because it sounds, like it has a little different sound to it.
Well, did anybody out there in the audience watch that halftime show tonight? Because you could tell they were lip syncing, because half the time they would be dancing around and not even facing the microphone, and still you could hear them singing on the music and stuff. It's like, yeah, you ain't really singing into that microphone, or if you are, it's not on. So, yeah, it's not that I care, because Usher ain't exactly my music. And
Yeah. Boom, I still got 8-track tapes too, buddy.
if I did, I
What
wouldn't have anything playing, man.
I actually still have an 8-track turntable radio, like one of those all-in-one deals, that
Eight
work.
tracks used to be famous about the tape would break,
Mm-hmm.
and then you'd have to splice it together, or it would get
I
caught on a roller, and it would all get torn up inside, and you'd have to throw the silly thing away. The sun would warp them. Oh man,
yeah,
you'd have to
I,
rebuy the same album 2 or 3 times sometimes.
I still have an 8-track splicer. Do you remember those? They almost look like a stapler,
I never owned one, but I knew
and
guys who had them. Yeah.
they had a cut like a 45.
Hmm.
So you cut above your wrinkled spot, and then the other side of the wrinkled spot you cut, and then it had a deal you raised up and you put a piece of Scotch tape, but you had to put it on the back side. You couldn't put it on the soundtrack side. And then you flipped it over, and then you put it down in there and hit it again, and it cut that Scotch paper off, Scotch tape off perfectly even with the outsides of the tape. And then yeah, you're going to miss a verse or a tune or two, but you still got to listen to it. And
Oh yeah, we always kept a matchbook in the car because they wouldn't track right.
mm,
You'd either have to put it up above or down below the tape. Get it to where it sound right.
mm,
Yep, I do
no doubt
remember.
about that. But yeah, I'm going to dig out my 8 tracks and that splicer tool sometime and show everybody that is something pretty cool. But And then even with the cassette tapes, like they didn't have a splicer for those, and every now and then you get the same problem. But your tape is all messed up, so you stuck a pencil up in there
Stuck
and
a pencil up in the
wound
mag.
the
Yeah.
tape back the other direction,
Yeah.
and
But the nice thing about cassette tapes is you could record your own and make copies of stuff, which you really couldn't do on 8 tracks. I don't know anybody that had an 8-track recorder, but a lot of us had cassette
no,
recorders.
I think
And
they.
you could get the dual tape units where you put the master tape on one side and then a blank tape on the other, and you could make your own copies. Not that any of us ever did that, because of course that would have been illegal. But you know,
Well, when he's talking earlier about the wager for the game, I felt like in a way I was so happy with Kansas City won, but so 4 years ago, a good buddy of mine I traded stocks with, um, he, you know, grew up in San Francisco in the Bay Area, so he's a big diehard, San Francisco fan, and he we placed a wager on that Super Bowl, and not only that, but him and his wife, they flew to Miami that year, got a motel, went to the Super Bowl, all that, spent like 15 grand. And not only, spent that money, but also lost the wager to me. And then, so, I mean, I'm talking seconds after San Francisco beat Detroit, I got a text message from him. It's like, revenge, baby. We on the same wager for this year. I want to win my money back. And I'm like, you betcha. And then poor guy, he's like, okay, I'm sending you the money right after the game. He's like, oh man, he goes, I should have made that bet with you, but and great guy. But anyway, I'm not going to accept it. I mean, then took the feller's money once. I hate to do it again. Broomstick says 67 Firebird. Oh, sweet. What was it? Pioneer Stereo. Jensen, triaxle speakers. Man, those Jensen stereo, you could get, I remember Walmart, you could get the stereo and the 6x9 triaxles all in the same box if you ordered it like you got it that way. Mr. Bob says the only win I had sports betting was on a baseball pool. I won one and a half the pot, or I won half the pot. Ozzie Smith's only left-handed home run, World Series against the Royals. Yeah, now that would have been in '85 when, wasn't it? When Cards played the Royals.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's '85. Hey, there's Joe Buckyu out there. Hey, buddy, what's up? We decided we just jump on and do a short little chat here. Me and Gary's all excited about the Super Bowl, and so also guys out there, the StreamYard link is pinned at the top. So if you got something you want to say, it don't matter if you're a Chiefs fan or a 49ers fan, it don't matter. We're all brothers and sisters, so you're welcome to jump in the chat. There's 2A for USA. That's all SpongeBob SquarePants and shut that shit down. Granted, I didn't have a dog in the game. Really? I guess I missed the SpongeBob SquarePants. What happened? Was there a commercial? Oh, yeah. Pioneer Super Tuner 2. Yeah, the I-70 series. I still have a shirt somewhere that says something about it's got baseball and it says live in 85 or something like that. I-70 series or something. I'll have to dig it out. It's in my like chest still. Guns Water says he's a hillbilly and gizzard fan. Awesome. Winning. Oh man. Oh, that's funny. But yeah, it was a good game. I tell you what, man, there's many times during that game I thought, yeah, I don't think the Chiefs are gonna pull this off, I'm like, we're already into the second half and you're still trying to run up the middle and you've not done that the entire game and gained like more than 1 yard or two. And it seems like we kept doing it. And I was getting so aggravated. I'm like, come on. You can pass for 5 yards on the quick slant or just pass out in the flat, let them try to run 5 yards. That's better than running it up the middle. And so, yeah, I was very vocal in our house, a little bit of cursing too, and so. Hey, there's Coop, CNT Designs. Hey, buddy, how you doing? And we got M. Gabriel in here. And Gabriel says, I didn't even watch, and I live in Missouri. Oh, boy. But, yeah, I was, in our house, me and my wife, we get pretty vocal when Chiefs games are on. I mean, hopefully our neighbors, they live a little ways away from us, but hopefully they can't hear us yelling and screaming and cursing sometimes. So things get loud in your place there tonight, Gary?
I imagine so. Neighbors didn't say nothing, but I'm pretty sure they heard me. Bet I didn't have to worry about it. I was in the living room. At least I wasn't in here where I was up above the baby's room or anything. I was in my living room, and it wasn't that late at night, so I wasn't too worried about it. But I might have screamed and hollered a little bit. Yeah, I did. I celebrated when they won. You darn right. They don't win that many,
Yeah. Yeah, Coop, I gotta confess, I used a few bad words there.
Oh, I did when the defense would give up first downs, and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
I
Oh, man.
I cheered about like I would if I was at the game.
Yeah.
That's the way Dad and I always watched football. We always expressed ourselves.
Oh yeah.
That's kind of
Yeah, I
fun of
mean,
watching. I mean, you care whether they win or lose. So I don't know why, but that's just the way I was raised. Dad was always a big football fan. And he'd watch those games and he would yell at the players and yell at the coaches and yell at the referees and everything else.
yeah.
So I grew up the same way.
What? Keep. I know you're fibbing a little bit there, buddy. Didn't use any bad words a day in your life. There's Abigail.
Boomstick says he needs Hillbilly and Gary's autograph. Well, I ain't nobody special.
Neither am I.
I'm just a guy who watched a football game tonight.
Yeah. Man, I love that new hat you got, buddy. That looks good.
Oh, well. I'd love to tell you that it was something special and it cost me a bunch of money, but I found it at Walmart.
Oh yeah.
I like the look of it. They had some other hats that I didn't like the look of, and it's like it was under $20, I'll tell you that much. And it's like I need a new hat anyway. And the price is right. It's like I'm just gonna buy myself a new hat. So
Boomstick says the secret of watching ball games is don't have anything to throw at the TV within reach. That is
this
true.
is true. This is true.
I literally, when the Chiefs lost their second, they won in the second year on the run it back series. They lost. Which is in my videos. I took our TV out and shot it. Yeah, the Green Bay Packers have made it. Yeah, we've been in there. Yeah, there we got Mike and Mini Mikes.
I'd have been sad if we lost, but pretty sure the sun will still come up in the morning either way.
Oh yeah,
that's how I've learned to deal with this stuff. Is it's like somebody explained to me a long time ago. They said, "Never forget that it's just a game."
Exactly.
And it pretty much is. I mean, it's not going to change me or what I'm going to do tomorrow, or it just gives me a good feeling inside when my team wins and stuff. But it don't mean anything. I mean, don't change nothing.
Well, Boomstick said that we figured we just lick the pencil a few times and sign with an X anyhow for autographs. So.
Probably.
Oh man, I literally have seen old timers do that growing up.
Yeah, I'm hoping it starts. I hear people starting about weather starting to warm up. Yeah, spring will be here pretty soon.
Oh man,
and we can start getting to the outdoor ranges again and stuff like that.
The forecast for tonight and tomorrow though in our area is snow. Saying last forecast I heard 3 to 4 inches for us snow by morning.
Now most of the bad ice storms I can remember ever hitting this area happened in February. And it was a couple of years ago we had some really bad weather in March. And I can remember one year I was supposed to fly out of Kansas City Airport and my flight got delayed a little bit. This is on April the 14th, which is my daughter's birthday. And there was snow on the ground.
Oh, yeah.
That late in the year or so. We ain't out of the woods yet. I'm just saying, as a general rule, it starts to warm up here in the next month or two.
So. Yeah. We have our Easter lilies, they're already, in daffodils, they're already 6-8 inches tall. They ain't bloomed out yet. Trees got buds on them. But I've seen all that stuff bloom out in a 6-inch snow, So, yeah, it's definitely possible. And yeah, my youngest daughter, like I said, she flew in out of Denver, out of Colorado Springs. Surprised us. She got here Thursday, I think. And then she flew back this morning. They left around 9 o'clock, 9:30. My ex-wife had, her mama had, took her to the airport. So she's flying from Springfield to Dallas to Colorado Springs. Otherwise, she has to fly into Denver and then it's hour and a half drive for my son-in-law to go pick her up, and then plus the long walk across that airport, So it's always, been the best deal for her. And so she got to Springfield. Her flight is supposed to leave at 11:30. The flight was not full, so they postponed it till 4:30. And then they loaded them on the plane, and then they delayed it more. I guess maybe till they got a full plane. I don't know, but they're so far behind her. She couldn't make her connecting flight in Dallas, so now her connecting flight in Dallas is not till 11:30 tonight. She has a year and a half old baby with her, and I mean, I don't know. I think our government should I don't like think that government should rule a lot of stuff, but when people buy tickets for flights to live at a certain time and they refuse to do it because their flight's not full, there needs to be like some rules on that crap. You know, she had to get a motel in Dallas. You know, just for her and the youngin, for that many hours, and it just don't seem right, man. You pay them a lot of money and then jack you around out that. And Boomstick says we got in 1987 we got 12 inches of snow in April in one shot. Dang. Abby says sports ball is boring, NASCAR is better. Raise hell, praise Dale.
I used to like
Definitely.
NASCAR, and NASCAR pretty much sucks anymore. The way they've nerfed the cars and everything else,
Yeah.
and
I
all this, let's race for the chase and all this stuff, and it's like, yeah. Back in the days when they just let them trade paint and go out there and go for it, a lot more fun.
Boomstick, I've not heard that phrase in a long time. The thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. Wasn't that on like CBS Sports or something
No, it
like
was
every
Wide
Sunday
World of
night?
Sports on
Yeah,
ABC.
yeah, Wild World Sports. That's what it was. Yeah, it always showed the ski jumper like eating crap there at the end of that. Oh man. Yeah. Yeah, that's ski wreck. Yeah, the dude, man, he ate it at the end of that jump. I always felt so sorry. I'm like, man, and I, as a younger person, I'm like, that's got to be humiliating to see that every week on this TV show. you know, you just eating snow at the end of your jump, and just, I mean, the dude, he may end up in a dang wheelchair or something. I don't know. But, Mike and Betty Mike says, road went downhill when they stopped showing American Gladiators. Oh, boy. But yeah, we had a great time watching Super Bowl, and we got to, for us, getting to watch it with family and friends too. That helps out a bunch. It's just about good food and getting together, and then it's always a great plus if your team wins. But like you said, Gary, if they don't, the next morning the sun still shines and the day goes on. Yeah.
Yep, that's fact.
But, so what tonight during the game, Gary? Like, what was like your most like, or is there any part of the game when something was going on that like you're like really on the edge? It's like, we got to do this, or it's over.
Oh, lots of times. I mean, there's the times when the 49ers were going down the field and we needed to stop them. And I'm like, you better, defense, you better step up now, because if they score now, we're screwed. And they always seemed to, I mean, it seemed like the Chiefs weren't playing their best ball, but when it came time to needing to get a stop, force them to kick a field goal rather than score a touchdown, they seem to step up there at the end. And
Yeah.
that I was pretty proud of them for doing that. And Mahomes came back in the second half, didn't throw any interceptions other than that one. And after that, he pretty much straightened up, and they got to where they eventually were doing stuff. But man, that game, it took a toll on both teams. Players were getting hurt. Both teams were pretty tuckered out towards the end. You'd see they're talking about the Chiefs defense and the 49ers defense. Both were pretty much out of wind and everything else. It's a tough game out there. And for a good old fashioned close football game that neither team really had much of a lead in, it pretty much was in question the whole time.
Yeah.
I never thought we were completely out of it, but there's a while in the first half where I was wondering if we were ever going to get in the game. And, and then we got a lead for a while, and then we lost the lead. It's like, oh no, here we go again. And just kind of back and forth with the emotions and everything else. You never really got much of a chance to relax. But those are the good kind of games that they have your attention the entire time, because, it's just if you're a fan of the game and want to see it go back and forth, well, you had plenty of that tonight. You get to see 5 quarters worth of football, basically, for the price of 4. So,
I really liked what the ref said when we went back out in the overtime for the coin toss. He's like, "Boys, this is a new football game."
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much true.
Yep. And I'm glad, actually, I'm glad they made it to where like both teams have a chance to get the ball on overtime, because I like the college rules. Like on the college where they start at the 25-yard line, both teams gets at least one chance, either kick a field goal or score from the 25 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I like those rules, as far as the college. There's some college rules I don't like if they touch you, or whatever, you're down, or whatever, or, there's some college rules I don't care for, but, yeah. Piper. Gosh. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
So, yeah, we got a little dog. She sits there and looks out the window. Anytime she sees a kitty cat or anything, she barks. Well, then it causes all our other dog, our other dog to bark.
Oh, sure.
Man, I think she's just yelling at her to shut up, but still, it's annoying. But yeah, for me, man, I like the game was close. It was good. I know both teams were capable of scoring way more points than what they ended up scoring. But defense really did good. Man, Chiefs defense, I don't know what the total time was, but they were on the field a lot. And then you add that overtime into it. And one thing I can say is San Francisco, their offense, they were able to bring, bring some time on the clock and give their defense a rest. And for the a lot of times, Chiefs offense got on line, got the ball and they were 3 and out, and so that's really hard on the defense.
Yeah.
Ozzy says I think they should make a new playoff rule permit for the whole season. Yeah, I got my cameras up on my computer, and yeah, there's no foxes or coyotes outside right now, so but everybody out there saying howdy. But yeah, it's a good game. I always love a close game. I still go back to one of the better. I mean, of course, I say one of the better Kansas City games. But it's always nice, for them to see the win like a Super Bowl or something. But do you remember when, which is now, the Lions quarterback, Goff, is like him and Patrick Mahomes, they like came in the league at the same time. And he was playing for the LA Rams, and Patrick, was Kansas City. And they played against each other. It was like just a mid-season game. And like the score was something like 50 or 60 something to 50 or 60 something. Like it was within 3 points. And those two quarterbacks, man, they were young and they were gunning it. I mean, they got one throw, a 40-yard pass and then, a touchdown. The other team come out and, the other quarterback did the same thing. And actually, Kansas City ended up losing to him. So when Goff went to the Lions, I was like, man, that kid's a good quarterback. And so I've been rooting for the Lions ever since, he got traded there. And so I think we got a public Ireland conversation going out there.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, Keith's like, yeah, I remember that game. That was a good game, man. I love a good run and gun, game like that. Where you got players just getting with it, and I also like smash mouth football, but I don't know, man. I like personally rather instead of smash mouth football, I'd rather watch a good, two teams that's good at passing and throw them points up there. I don't know why. But what about you, Gary? Do you like a good smash mouth football running for yards up the middle?
I I like seeing a game like today because you had two teams that were fairly evenly matched. I mean, very
Mhm.
similar offenses, very similar players, and everything else. Both very good. Uh, they're just basically trading punches like a classic prize fight. Um,
Yeah.
Neither one was clearly better than the other. And, I mean, arguably, the 49ers may have been a little better at running the ball, but other than that, I mean, both of them had good defenses that stepped up at
Hmm.
times and did things. Um, it was just an enjoyable game to watch. Now, I do enjoy a lot of scoring sometimes, but I think a Super Bowl should be two very good teams going at each other head to head and playing a good, tough game like this and it not being decided to the end. I think it just basically who's going to last longest, And in the end, the Chiefs put it together. They could have just as easily lost. Um, but it was, like I say, if you were a fan of the 49ers, I don't think you could be too ashamed of the way they played the game.
No.
Uh,
No.
they played tough. And
They did.
so they gave us everything we wanted. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. And there towards the end, at the very end of the game, I heard Tony Romo say, well, Kansas City should go ahead and kick the field goal and go into double overtime. I'm like, no, don't do that. At least go for the end zone, once or twice. And, luckily, the one time, and man, Nicole Hardman, he's the one that caught that game-winning touchdown. And he left Kansas City. He started the season for the Jets, I believe, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And he ended up coming back to Kansas City. And I really liked that kid. I mean, he had heart. He was a good player. I hated to see him go. And I'm really glad that they came back. That he came back. But yeah, that's really glad to see him come back, and then catching that game-winning pass was, awesome. But oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm glad to see Kansas City get the win, but you did watch that game. It was anybody's game throughout the entire game. It was so close. I really thought it was pretty cool. I mean, being a Chiefs fan, that the 49ers kicked the longest field goal in Super Bowl history. And then Buckner gets the opportunity. He's like, yeah, I can do that. And beats that record. So literally tonight, there was 2 records set for the longest field goal in history. I thought that was really cool in the same game.
So Mr. Bob wants to know what was the first team to play their home games in a dome and win the Super Bowl?
Oh, man.
Probably, I'm thinking maybe the Saints.
Well, probably. Trying to think the dome
Or,
team.
yeah, probably the Saints.
So Dallas, they didn't get a dome till later on.
Dallas never had a dome.
Yeah, they didn't get theirs till later on. So
They still don't have a dome.
I thought they had a closed roof or
Nope.
open closed roof on that building.
Nope.
Oh,
Oh, forgot about the Rams.
yeah, 57 yards, and that's what I mean. What was the other kicker? San Francisco, like he did, like wasn't it 50? Like set the record right before that at during tonight, like at 52 yards or something like that. I forget what it was, but yeah, yeah. Rams St. Louis could be. I don't know. I'd have to Google that. Oh, okay. So the St. Louis Rams were the first dome team to win the Super Bowl. And then Ozzy says, how about Indianapolis?
Colts were first.
I don't
Now
know.
the Rams were first. The Colts were the first dome team to win a Super Bowl in an outdoor game.
Okay.
But the Rams were the first dome team to win one, period. But they won theirs in a dome that year also.
Man, I will have to tell you guys, like, you know, some people say, well, being a Chiefs fan's easy, blah, blah, blah. And I do realize a lot of people's jumped on the bandwagon in the last 4 years. But for people like me and Gary, it's not been a bandwagon. It's been years and years of sorrow sometimes and disappointment sometimes,
Yep.
And I mean, when we played Brady in Tampa, that was like this, one of the saddest games I think I ever watched for a Super Bowl. It's like no matter what Kansas City tried, they could not get anything right. I mean, that game it just felt like it was, over before it ever began, and that was their, run it back year. And, everybody's so pumped, and I'd be dang if, if Brady didn't go to Tampa and lay it on us there, it's like, man, like every year in the playoffs, being a Chiefs fan, you knew you had to get by Brady to make it to the Super Bowl, right, Gary?
Mm-hmm.
And then we get to the Super Bowl, and the second year, and what we got to do, we got to play Brady again in the Super Bowl. It's like, doggone it, man, just go away. But 57 yards. I agree with you, Boomstick. Do you remember the one year they had it in New York, and it was cold, and all these millionaires that go to the Super Bowl every year, they did not like that. So, and that's one thing I really, it kind of burns my butt that I know, like now there are stadiums bigger in Kansas City, but for many, many years, Kansas City held 88,000 fans. And they were having the Super Bowl somewhere south where it's nice and warm, with a stadium that held, 50,000 or whatever, that had like so many nice box seats and, and all that stuff. And I'm like, come on, switch it up. And, it's like, and you look tonight, if you watched it close tonight, they showed celebrities after celebrities there, and those people's got the money. They can afford to go to the Super Bowl games. and they won it somewhere, nice and warm or whatever, covered dome. And I really don't. I understand why NFL does it, but it's like, come on, man, have the Super Bowl in Lambeau, you know, give if they want to watch, if they followed Super Bowl all year, and they can set their butts in Lambeau Field, you know. But no, it's always some nice city that has a dome where they got air and heat and all that stuff. And man, that's not what Super Bowl or that's not what football I just think's all about, in the past. But of course nowadays it is for sure. But see, Mr. Bob says the Rams lost their second Super Bowl appearance when Belichick was filming their practices a week before the game. No repercussions. Yeah. Yep. That was for sure true. That was true. No doubt about that. Yep. Belichick's been caught cheating many, many times. And I don't know, like, has there ever been any repercussions of him, like, when he got caught?
Not that I know of.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll have to say that, like Tom Brady, a lot of people said he couldn't win without Belichick, and he proved them wrong. But so Boomstick says, I remember watching the Canadian Championship game one year as putting down snow so bad they could barely keep the 10-yard line showing. Yeah. And I think a lot of times they had those heaters underneath the line markers, right, Gary, or something? So when it does snow, it melts off and you can still see the line markers. I think I seen a deal on that one time that a lot of stadiums have put those in, outdoor stadiums. Some type of a water heater, or I don't know what it is.
Well, most of them have some sort of thing in them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Kansas City does.
But I know Kansas City must have a heck of a drainage around their field and underneath the field, because you might not realize it, but when you walk into Kansas City and you walk into Arrowhead, half of the field is in ground, like it's like dug out in the ground. And we were there one year, and thank goodness we were up underneath the overhang. But it's raining so hard, like they stopped the game. It's lightning and raining, and where the water is coming off the overhang, you cannot even see the field. It was like a solid waterfall, and that water was running down those stairs like a strong creek. Yeah, I'm talking strong creek, and that field drained. I don't know what type of drain system they have there, but man, it works. As I'm like, man, it keeps this up. Those guys are gonna be playing in 5 foot of water, But it didn't. It drained, and being a excavator and building this type, different types of stuff, even commercial buildings, hospitals, whatever, throughout my life, drainage is really hard. I mean, it really is, because you got to have volume, and so I was really impressed with that stadium. But Gary, if you excuse me for a second, I'll let you, Karen. I'll be right back.
Okay. I guess George and I will try to entertain everybody as much as possible while Hillbilly's away. Not real sure how we're going to do that. You got any ideas, George? You don't? Okay. I know I'm kind of hungry. But it's midnight. Wow. It's actually the day after Super Bowl Sunday here now. So I don't know. Let's go over to Hillbilly's chat. I still shows 12 people online here. Mr. Bob says we should run amok. Well, I could do that. Don't know if I remember that. Abigail's eating some sort of ramen. I couldn't tell you one kind from another. Ramen's pretty good, but I don't have any. I would eat some if there was some here. But there's not any. Is there, George? Nope. Coop is out there listening and chilling, also known as posting on X. Mr. Bob says, oh, wait, I deleted my amok, so I can't run it. Yeah, I hate it when that happens. Guns and Water also likes ramen noodles, and Defense Dad's in here. And he says, so the foosball game is over, huh? How many baskets did they shoot before they fell off their skates? Boomstick Revenge says, the old Mile High Stadium, they could move the stands in and out on jets of water. Pretty cool to watch. Abby says, I'm still calling it twatter. Defense
That's actually
back to bed.
Boomstick. I was working in Denver when they were building a new stadium beside, and we could see it from where we was working in the downtown area. They were building a new stadium. They tore down the old baseball stadium right beside it because the Rockies had already had their new stadium, and they tore that down. They were building the new one, and by sitting there watching them, the new one looked exactly the same as the old one on the outside. Like same, basically, close to the same size, same stilts, same beams, and all that stuff. But sorry, guys. I drink I bet it probably a 12 pack during that game. I had to go get rid of some.
I didn't have but 5. I only drank 2, and I drank them after the game was over.
Oh, man.
But I did have me some really good wings for dinner. But that was, oh gosh, what? 8:30? Yeah. No. Yeah, maybe. Earlier than that even. What would halftime have been? Probably around 8 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock.
7:30 to 8, roughly.
So it's probably closer to 7:30 when my dinner got ready because it was just before halftime.
Yeah, because I think Ron's range day, Ron Lane's range day, come on is like at 7:30, and so he's at halftime. So I got to come in and watch it. And one thing about the halftime show, I mean, I'm not like a real big Usher fan or whatever, but I do know he does a lot of good for like St. Louis area and all that stuff and other places. But one thing that impressed me was the roller skates. during
Oh,
that
that
deal.
was pretty cool when they did
I
that.
had it on the side. I had the volume turned down while I was watching Ron's. I'm like, dang, man, they brought in the roller skates. I
Well,
can't believe people still know how to roller skate.
the thing is, if I'd have wanted to turn it off, I really couldn't because I was eating hot wings and I had crap over my both hands and everything else, holding on to them, keeping 2 or 3 napkins, keep my hands wiped off. So, like, I wasn't going to grab no remotes or nothing else till I was all done. So
Exactly.
I just got my food, I got me a TV tray set up where I could sit in there in the living room and eat. And I just decided I was going to enjoy my food and just. I don't sit in the living room and watch a whole lot of stuff, so it was kind of enjoyable to spend 3 or 4 hours out there and actually kind of like the old days, sit and watch something on the big TV. And
Well, yeah.
it was well worth it. I mean, yeah, I had to sign up for Paramount Plus just so I could watch it on my big TV. But the great thing about that was they have a 7-day free trial. So all I got to do is in the morning go in and cancel it, and it don't cost me nothing.
There you go.
Yeah,
That
they were
link I
advertising that on the web. They said if you want to watch a game for free, all you got to do is sign up for it and then cancel it the next day. I'm like, well, why wouldn't you do that?
you bet. And actually, Gary, you could have watched it on that link I sent you.
Yeah,
And
I just didn't want to dig that up, and it's like, yeah, this is too easy.
and Boomstick says seltzer. No, I was not drinking seltzer, buddy.
They advertised seltzer on one of the advertisements. I remember seeing that.
Yeah, I was not drinking hard seltzer. I'm done with hard seltzers.
I saw
I
a few of those. I saw a few of those commercials. Some of them were pretty cute.
yeah. Yeah, I'll have to go back. I'll have to go probably tomorrow. I'll go on
But
YouTube
I
and
didn't watch any of the pregame. I turned it on right before. Actually, by the time I got everything paid for and got it set up, that they were just walking out on the field getting ready to toss the coin. It's like I didn't watch any of the pregame stuff at all. So
yeah, I did
oh
not
well.
either.
I enjoyed it. It was fun. And it'll be a year before I do it again. So hopefully they'll be in it again next year.
Yeah. Boomstick says there's still a sorry, Betty. A roller skating rink near him and a drive-in theater. We need to get with the times. No, buddy, man, that is awesome. Like to have that in your area, that is. I mean, I'd be. If we
Yeah,
had
the
drive-in theater, I think I'd probably be loading the grandkids up every
thing is,
week.
I don't know if I could stay awake.
You don't have to stay for the double, you know, the double feature.
Well, back when we was young, we would load up a cooler, keep it in the back of the car, and we'd go in. We wouldn't have to go to the snack bar because we had all the drinks we needed right there in the car. If you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, yeah. I loved going to drive-in theaters when I was growing up, and even up until my teenage, like I guess probably when I was 16 or 17, somewhere in that area, they had shut down the drive-in theater in Springfield, Missouri, which is the closest one to me. But when we went to Topeka to visit some family and friends up there, they still had some. So a lot of times when we go up there, we'd all load up and go to the drive-in theater there.
It ain't there no
And
more.
huh?
It ain't there no more. That's where the South Walmart is.
Oh, is it?
In fact, they kept the sign because it was called the Chief Drive-In Theater.
Yeah, exactly.
And they kept the sign from that old drive-in. They refurbished the neon on that old sign, and they put it in front of the Walmart. It's the coolest thing.
Oh,
But
really?
yeah,
That
there's a
is cool.
Walmart sitting on a property, but they kept the old theater sign, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, every time I went to Topeka, I wanted to eat a hamburger at a place called The Pad and go to the drive-in theater. That was always kind of like our deal. And
Down on 37th Street.
The Pad, like their hamburgers were thin, like a steak and shake burger, but you know they come out on probably I'd say a 6, 7 inch plate, and the burger was the same size as the plate, and it was a real plate. And then like you had a separate uh, plate for the fries, and it just seemed like a good burger. I don't know. I don't remember. I always enjoyed it. So yeah, I do. They do make those mosquito burning coals. We have some like when we're out at the pool in the summertime. We'll light some of those. But I must just get the tiki torches. I put the um oh Symphoronella or whatever fuel in those and burn those, and you don't have any problems. Most usually mosquitoes, but yeah, we do have some of those burning coils. But we never set them on the dashboard though. That is funny, man, because they would turn into like cigarette ashes as they burnt. Boomstick says we dug a hole underneath the back fence and snuck into the drive-in theaters.
We may or may not have had people in the trunk when we went in the drive-in.
Yeah, with my claustrophobia, I think I'd be the one up front paying instead of being in the trunk.
Because it was so much per person, or you could have a whole carload come in for such a fee. I don't remember what it was.
Well, most usually when we went to Topeka, like we take like the passenger van or what you know what I'm talking about, like the Chevy van that's got the 4 captain seats and then the couch in the back that folds down into a bed. And then, you can fit a good 10, 12 people in that dude. And then if you had the shades, you could lower the shades. And so, like, you could just pay for the whole passenger deal. And we got out there, and then they had like little steps on the back where you could put luggage up on the roof. So when we get there, we like try to kind of almost take up like 2 parking spots at an angle sideways, so you could open the double doors, and then everybody get up on the roof. And then we drag the coolers out or whatever and set out front of the van and watch the theater.
Well, if we had a pickup, we'd back in, and
Yeah.
we'd have lawn chairs in the back of the pickup, and we'd sit in our lawn chairs and watch a movie.
Mr. Bob says the coals come with aluminum and cardboard tray that had a pop-up triangle in the center. You get a big thumbs up there, Gary. It popped up on your screen. You could bounce the coal on the triangle and the ash would fall into the little dish thingy. That's pretty cool. That's funny, man. Good night, Abigail. Take care. But yeah, you were like doing this, scratching or whatever, and you did a thumbs up bubble.
Yeah.
That's what Moondog did the other night. He's doing something and he had one pop up, and I see him look at the screen, and I'm like, yep, that's he must be on a Apple device.
Yeah, if you go into the options, you can turn that off. I just never think to do it.
Oh, I think it's cool as can be. Yeah, I think it's cool.
It's cool if it happens when you want it to. It's not cool when it doesn't. You're not even trying, though.
But yeah, I think all in all, it was a fun game tonight. Of course, we're having a better time here tonight, and probably, the only reason that we're doing this live is because she's won. Probably, I mean, of course, but
Yeah, if
I
Chiefs had
had a good
lost, I'd be in bed by now, probably.
exactly. Yep, exactly. And so I know a lot of you guys watching and maybe even on the rewind. Uh, you might not feel the same way, but you might not watch football or anything. But anyway, it was a fun game, um, and I thought it was pretty exciting. Um,
It's
I
just too
love
bad
games.
somebody had to lose. And
Yeah.
I know there's probably some 49ers fans. They might not be watching this because if I was a 49ers fan, I wouldn't click on something that said Chiefs Super Bowl party either.
No, I wouldn't
Uh,
either.
I do feel sad for them. They had a good season and
Hmm.
gave us everything we wanted. So, if there are any of them out there, well, don't be ashamed of your team. There's nothing to be ashamed of. Uh,
No, man, that rookie quarterback, for 49ers, as young kid as he is, man, I dread that kid in their future. He's a good quarterback. and I think it's pretty safe to say he has not seen his first and last Super Bowl.
nah, he'll be back. I'm pretty sure.
He will. No
And they
doubt
have
about
they have one heck. They had the best running back in the league on that team too,
it. Yeah.
because he
McCaffrey.
scored it. He scored that first touchdown against us.
Yeah.
They got
And
some good receivers and everything else. So.
and as a Chiefs fan, and probably you will know what I'm talking about, but dang, I hated to start hearing the name McCaffrey again after it was
Mm-hmm.
years in Denver. You know what I mean? You know, cat. I don't know. Is this McCaffrey any relation to the McCaffrey that was in that played for Denver?
Couldn't tell you.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to Google that, but man, I told my wife, I'm like, geez, man, hearing that name again brings back some serious, you know,
Now I'm
like,
pretty sure that coach Kyle Shanahan. I'm pretty sure
oh,
his dad was probably the old Denver coach,
mm-hmm.
Mike Shanahan back in the day.
Yeah, Mike was a dang good coach.
So yeah, that's a good team. Darn good team. Of course, the
Yeah,
Lions are going to be good next year again too, probably.
yeah,
The
evidently,
Chiefs didn't have an easy road to the Super Bowl. They had to
no.
beat some pretty good teams. They struggled early in the season. They lost some
Mm-hmm.
games they should have won. They lost the first game of the season to the Lions, and yeah, and they had to turn things around. They didn't get home field advantage locked up, so they had to go on the road and win some playoff games.
Yeah,
Uh, and they didn't think they could do it.
I was kind of seriously doubting it myself.
But but by golly, they proved us all wrong and did it anyway.
Yep.
So I think you gotta give the Chiefs coach Andy Reid. He seems to get that team ready to play every year. You got injuries, you got players that leave and go to other teams and
Exactly.
stuff like that, and he turns things around. And maybe this coach left and went to another team, so they had to hire a new defensive coach or a new offensive coach.
Yeah, new offensive coach. Yeah.
I was basically having to start over from something from scratch every year and still being able to field a good team.
Good night,
So,
Boomstick, buddy. We'll see ya.
so I think we're lucky to have Andy.
Oh man, I always tell my Philly buddies, from the I trade with, I'm like, man, the best move you guys ever made was getting rid of Andy, and letting him come to Kansas City. Like, you know, and they really, a few of them really sour about that. They're like, they're like, they're so mad that they, let Andy Reid go, you know, and because they wanted him to stay in Philly,
Yeah.
and Mr. Bob says, "Good night, Boomstick. Have whatever kind of dreams you want."
Well, whatever we got going in Kansas City, I don't know how many they'll end up winning. Maybe they won't ever win anymore. Maybe they'll win 2 or 3 more. But at a certain point, it will come to an end. And
Mm-hmm.
I think when you've got that magic going on, when you've got a good coach, you've got a good young quarterback like Patrick Mahomes, who's a leader on the field, uh, and a good front office and everything else. I think you gotta appreciate them while you got them, because like I say, we've been through some bleak years where we didn't have good luck and stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah,
So, uh, and I'm sure there's people out there that are from the Northeast that was sad when the New England Patriots lost Brady and everything else, but from a Chiefs standpoint, I never did like Tom Brady, and I was damn glad to see him go. Uh, he kept us out of the Super Bowl a few times, so
mm-hmm.
and not just our team, but a lot of teams. So
Yep,
yeah, they had lightning in a bottle for a while and won a lot of championships together and stuff like that. So yeah, when you've got magic like that, I didn't think it ever happened in Kansas City. I didn't know
yeah,
if we'd ever see a Super Bowl again, and then things changed. So maybe if your team didn't win this year, don't ever give up hope.
exactly.
I guess that's if I was to give advice to any fan of any other teams, if you're out there, don't give up hope on your home team. Root for them. Maybe they'll turn things around. And meanwhile, I'm hoping my Chiefs make it back next year. Uh, I enjoyed their journey this year and stuff like that. Now I got to get back to real life. Got to take off this Chief stuff for another year and put it in the closet. Maybe wear it every once in a while just for, to remember and stuff like that. But
There's a little
like, that,
fox
there's your
out there
fault.
again tonight.
Yeah. But the sun comes up the next day and we get back to regular life. But yeah, tonight was fun. Last night, I guess now.
Yeah, that little red fox. I don't know if it's a boy or girl, but it's out there again tonight. But the foxes don't seem to bother anything around here.
No.
Never really had trouble with them. I seen the barn cats run the foxes off. Like right now, if a barn cat come out, it'd chase that fox off of that food.
You ain't
And
got
the
any
fox would
chickens
run.
around there, so you ain't got too much to worry about.
Uh-huh.
I said you don't keep chickens, so.
Yeah, we got chickens.
Oh, you do have chickens.
Yeah, they go in and roost at night, and then I shut the door for them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so yeah, he or she, whatever it is, can't get to them.
You don't have to
Oh,
worry about
okay. Something
something.
scared it. It's out of there. Probably, like I said, it's probably just a barn cat
Probably.
that scared it. But yeah, I seen them cats just completely run those foxes plumb out of the yard, like chasing them.
Hmm.
But the one we got like red foxes and gray foxes here. We have one, and I know he's a male because I seen him pee out there. Hike his leg and pee, and he showed up every year off and on for probably the last 3 or 4 years. And like I said, he'll come up and eat some either apples or peaches out of our orchard, or catch some cat food out there. But yeah, he never bothers anything.
Hmm.
Yeah, I've never had like the possums. I've had them get in there and eat the eggs. I never had one kill my chickens, but I have one out there before, and they get to the fence. Them possums, man, they can fit through. They're like rats. They can fit through some small places, and they'll be in there eating eggs. But way my chickens roost, they roost like out and away from the laying boxes. So, I heard that if you don't have the right roosting place, then the chick and the hen or whatever's still in there, then the possum will, might kill it because it's just easy prey. And those stinking birds, man, them at night, they won't move hardly. They're yeah. See, Keep says I had a few killed chickens, cut them pulling out tail feathers out of the chickens. Oh man. But yeah, possums, when they're kind of nasty, they'll even eat a dead possum. I've seen that before. Yeah, man, I'm excited to Chiefs won, and like I said, I agree with you totally. If somebody's 49ers fan, they only have like good things to look forward in the future. And the Lions, man, they impressed me. I really was wanting the Lions Chiefs Super Bowl because of Moo and some of our friends in Michigan, and but I, who knows? The Lions may beat us too, so I don't know.
I say they already beat us once this year. I'm not sure
Yeah.
we want to play them again.
So it's one of those deals, but yeah, I always say like on the playoff games or whatever, I'm like, when I'm looking at since Chiefs are in the AFC, when I'm watching the NFC playoff games, I'm like, I want whatever team that the Chiefs can beat win.
Yeah.
I don't care, but I want somebody to win that the Chiefs can beat. And so it's fun, and like if you're not into sports and everything, that's fine too. But it seems like any sports, I don't care if it's a high school team, if it's basketball, soccer, football, NASCAR, whatever it is, until you start like rooting for a team, or sometimes, especially like in NASCAR, I had like 5 drivers I'd root for, because there's so many drivers in NASCAR. And of course, ones I like more than others, but it seems like until you get like somebody that you're actually rooting for, then it's just a game, and like sometimes you don't get very excited about it. But if you have like a few teams that you like or a few, drivers that you like, then it just makes it that much more interesting and exciting.
Yeah.
And when it comes to like, so, you know, March Madness is upon us. And so I will like probably have about, I know at least 5 teams. Like, I'll start watching. Now I have most usually 4 or 5 teams that I really like. And for me, at least 3 of those teams, if not 4, are going to be underdogs, that I'm going to be rooting for. And so that like makes it more exciting than if you just don't really care who wins or not. And so if you've never been a sports person and you want to like start watching sports, pick a team or 2 or 3 or whatever and just kind of start following them. And then it makes a lot of difference. And at least it always did for me. And well, Gary, we've been on here for going almost on 2 hours. So anyway, I think we probably ought to end this show.
Yeah,
Is there
probably.
anything you'd like to say or add or plug before we get off here?
I
No,
want
you're
to say hi
Scottish
to the
American.
Scottish American out there. No, just foul territory this Friday. We do this every Friday. It's my live stream. We do it at 9 o'clock p.m. Central Time on a Friday. Everybody's invited and everybody's welcome. So hopefully you can come by and check that out. And thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, buddy, you bet. Thanks for jumping on with me. And like I said, this was not anything we had planned by any means or nothing like that. It was just, you know, Chiefs won and I'd text Gary and he texted me back and then I had a lot of texts and a few phone calls and then told Gary, I'm like, hey, I'm thinking about just jumping on doing a little live pop-up show. And so he's like, heck yeah, brother. So anyway, guys, we thank you so much for being here and watching us. I hope you all enjoyed it. Um, like I said, I know a lot of teams are probably not football teams, but are like into football or maybe in sports. But we appreciate you being on here, nevertheless, even if you're not. Um, and for me, I have see Wednesday, Sunday. So we got a members live chat Tuesday night, and I'm getting very, very close to 1,776 subscribers. And so that'll be our next big giveaway, and I'll be giving out these patches and a few other things. So, you don't have to do anything to win these patches other than be on the giveaway show. But if I have a kind of like a grand prize for that, and if you want to get onto that grand prize, then all I ask is that you be subscribed to my channel. You go over to my Twitter, which is called X, and if you have that, if you are on that platform, then you can find me at capital USA underscore hillbilly because American hillbilly took up too many like spaces and they wouldn't accept that. So anyway, and it's also my link tree. If you go over to Twitter and you follow me on Twitter and comment 1776, then that'll get you into the grand prize drawing. Or I say grand prize, it's just the biggest prize of the night. And the reason for that is because I have some affiliates, and it's so much easier to post stuff over on Twitter to get you guys good deals. I mean, over there, I can literally post, these discounts and all that stuff and not get in trouble like we could do. Like, I could get in trouble on YouTube here. So if I post my community tab. So that's the reason to get people moved over to Twitter for me. And it's just only to help you guys like see those good deals. So anyway, I got videos lined up and we'll just keep pumping them out and having fun. And of course, we got Guns Bear and Therapy on next Saturday night, 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern. Make sure on Friday night as you start out your weekend, you got Georgia Shooting Connection at 7 o'clock Central. Right after that, you got Giz and Gary. And then right after that, you got gun websites, weekly 2A wrap up. And then, oh my goodness, there's so many. I don't want to leave anybody out. Now for my show starts, Guns Bear and Therapy, you got Brooke Cheney. And then on Sundays, you got Ron Wayne, his range date. And you got also Scotsman's Roundtable Live. Is that the right word? Knights at the Round Table? No, what is it? Scotch American Round Table. Anyway, it's on Sunday night.
Foreign and domestic.
Foreign and domestic. That's the words I was looking for.
I couldn't think of it for a second.
Yeah, me either. I was like, anyway, Scotsman's live show, Foreign and Domestic. And so, guys, there's just all kinds. I'm forgetting a bunch of them, and I'm sorry if I forgot to name you. But there's so much fun stuff out there. So keep checking it out, and it's all good stuff. So anyway, I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for jumping in. Enjoyed each and every one of you. And remember, guide family and country and make somebody's day better. And if the good Lord's willing, creeks don't rise, we'll be seeing y'all again